we're gonna be covering every single class before we move on and loop over around them again. Today we're talking about druids, which are very cool and one of my favourite classes, because they're very powerful. I'm currently playing a druid in Waterdeep Dragon Heist that has 7 spell slots at level 2 due to a feat and being a Circle of Stars Druid. This is one of the only subclass videos where I'm talking about a subclass that I've actually played. But yeah, I'm currently playing a Circle of Stars Druid in a Dragon Heist campaign. He's level 2 at the moment and has 7 spell slots. I'll get onto how I did that in a second. Circle of Stars is one of my favourite flavoured druids. I think that on a first glance it's very hard to think of flavour. I'll talk about that with you first. But yeah, hopefully this will be a little helpful in case you're interested in playing this subclass. Welcome to Saucy Subclasses, the only series now that survived the purge other than the modules. So a Circle of Stars Druid in premise is basically your connection to nature is with the universe. Circle of Stars people like make star charts and stuff like that on anything that they find. Circles might have standing stones and stuff like that with star charts and constellations stuck everywhere. And that kind of pervades the theming of how the class works in terms of its features as well. I think the way that I have been flavouring it is I have been using my star map for everything. The star map is your first feature that you get at 2nd level for picking the subclass. You get a bunch of features for it. It also it gives you a D6 list of star maps that you get to choose from, and the star map dictates, your spellcasting. You can use it as a spellcasting focus, and you also have to use it as a spellcasting focus for some of the things that you get in this subclass. It can be anything. It can be, a regular scroll. It can be a stone tablet, a speckled owlbear hide. I love that. Tooled with raised marks. A collection of maps bound in an ebony cover. A crystal that projects starry patterns when placed before a light. And the one that I picked, glass discs that depict constellations. I picked that because it lets me go crazy with it. I said that my character could make them float and start moving them around. They're like hand-sized. They're like this big each. But he basically keeps like a store of them under his coat and can just like pull them out and they start floating and shoot things and stuff. And I think that is really interesting. A Star Druid star map is a very cool feature, and frankly, I adore the concept. Now let's get on to the features, which are the coolest things, and I'll go over a little bit how I flavoured it in my game as well. So, the star map feature, not only do you get your star map, while holding the map, you get a few benefits that are all various spellcasting benefits. You know the guidance cantrip only while holding it, but you should be holding it. You should be holding a spellcasting focus as a druid. You also have Guiding Bolt prepared, and it's technically a druid spell for you, but it doesn't count against your spell's note, or number of spells you have prepared even. So it's just a free extra spell, Guiding Bolt. And you can also cast it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus without using spell slots. And then those uses come back on a long rest, which is amazing. So giving a druid Guiding Bolt is very fun. It gives them a bit more single target stuff, because druids I feel are very AoE centric in the way that they work a lot of the time. So having Guiding Bolt is cool. It's also got a support element with if it hits, the enemy that it hits, the next attack roll against it has advantage, which is very cool. But also being able to go beyond the spellcasting system and cast spells more than the spell slots that you have is very fun. I think that having that sort of stuff, innate spellcasting, I can't get enough of in 5e. It just gives your players so much more to work with and stuff. But yeah, being able to spam Guiding Bolt like it's nobody's business is great. So I flavoured this as, since I've done the glass discs, one glass disc is dedicated to Guiding Bolt and guidance. So the Guiding Bolt is held out and it's a twist and sends out a spiraling constellation of a series of stars, maybe even an embodiment of the Milky Way, just a little mini Milky Way, just pew. That sounds cool as hell to me. In terms of guidance as well, since it's a cantrip, very subtle, and just take the disc and just touch it to whatever you're trying to do, and a little sparkle. I think that definitely considering this sort of stuff could be very cool. Similar to how a wizard spellbook works, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to magically create a replacement if you lose it, or if it's something like that. You also get to do my other favourite thing that this subclass does, which is give you another use of your wild shape feature, which is great. You can use a bonus action to enter a Starry Form at 2nd level, which only lasts for 10 minutes in comparison to the half your druid level that a regular wild shape would last for. It will also end upon being incapacitated, which is the extra thing that happens there, which is certainly something that you don't want to be getting done to you as a druid. So hide behind corners. So apparently, according to the description of this, your body becomes luminous, your joints glimmer like stars, and glowing lines connect them as on a star chart. I think that you get like a little ethereal in the way that you are. You kind of, I would definitely even say maybe float like an inch off the ground just for flavor. No mechanical purpose. You also radiate some light as well, which can definitely fuck up stealth a little bit. For my character, Angel, the Stars Druid, he will not have that big of a flare. It's still going to obviously glow for him, but it's just going to be an eye change. His eyes are going to start sparkling purple, gold, white. You can give yourself whatever flavor you want. Let's get on to what the Starry Form does. When you assume the form, you can choose one of 3 constellations. Let's go over them. Archer, you get to yeet a spiritual weapon out every turn. So basically, when you activate the form and as a bonus action on each of your turns, similar to spiritual weapon, you get to make a ranged spell attack to someone within 60 feet of you, dealing radiant damage that's a d8 plus your wisdom modifier. This is spiritual weapon forever, basically, and it's great. At 2nd level. Druids are powerful. I don't know why they needed all this. I'm not complaining, I'm playing one of these. I love this. I love the sort of flavour behind that as well. How you take on the form of a constellation of an archer, or at least it appears on you, so maybe like your titties start glowing with arrows and just... Or maybe something a bit more appropriate and family friendly. There's also Chalice, which is really interesting. So whenever you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to a creature, you or another creature within 30 feet of you can regain hit points equal to a casting of a 1st level Cure Wounds. Additionally, a d8 plus your wisdom. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Double healing. Double healing. Just for free. Jesus. You cast Healing Word, and you get Cure Wounds at range, and then you still have your action. And all that took was a wild shape and a spell slot of 1st level. Whew. That's amazing, frankly. I think that that's so cool. I definitely intend to spam this a lot because we're in a party of 3 at the moment, including me. And I'm the only spellcaster, so... The final constellation is Dragon, which the benefits don't seem as obvious as the other ones until I'm going to start ranting about it. When you make an intelligence or wisdom check, or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, you can't roll lower than a 10 on a d20 while you have the form up for 10 minutes. If you have a big spell that you need to concentrate on, Dragon is the one for you. Either that, or if you're on a dungeon crawl right now, oh my god, that's so useful. That is so useful. It's quite possibly a usable feature that is better than the rogue's 10th level ability, Reliable Talent, which allows them to have the same thing on any skill check that they're proficient with, which I find amazing, honestly. So intelligence or wisdom, that's pretty cool. The constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, always being a 10 or higher. That's amazing for early levels, because things aren't going to do that much damage to you in order to instantly get you down like that. I really appreciate this, and honestly, it's a very cool feature that I can't wait to use. So, we're going to move on to 6th level with Cosmic Omen. This one's pretty cool. The features here get a lot more vague. So, at 6th level, whenever you finish a long rest, you can consult your lovely little star map, for me it will be discs, for omens. When you do so, you can roll a die, any die, d4, d6, d8, d10, d12, d20, d100, whatever the heck you want, until you finish your next long rest. So this is basically like you finish a long rest, you roll, and you get 1 or 2 of the benefits. You get 1 or the other of the benefits even. You get a special reaction. So if you rolled an even number that morning, whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can roll a d6 and add it to it. You can use a number of times up to your proficiency bonus. It comes back on a long rest. On an odd number, when you roll the dice, it's the exact same, except it's minus a d6 instead of plus a d6, which is just as good. So this is basically a consistent bless/bane shuck out with your reaction. Druids don't get to use their reactions that much, I've noticed. So I think that's pretty cool, honestly. Gives them an extra thing to do, and it lets you play with the fates of the universe a little bit, and it's quite cool flavor. I think that I'd have to say woe is a little cooler. However, you can't do it afterwards, which I think is balanced. You can't know the result of the roll before you declare it. I think wheel can be very useful for those key moments when you need to do it. So yeah, and it can be used outside of combat for a very important ability check that you need to work as well. Anything like that. I would think that this is a cool ass ability. We're moving on to the 10th feature, which basically just upgrades your Starry Form. The dice that you roll for Archer and Chalice, the ones that heal and deal damage, become 2d8. And when you use the Dragon one, you have a flying speed of 20 feet and can just hover in the air, which I think is very cool. 20 feet is a little lackluster, but it makes sense. You wouldn't be able to just zip around at 60 fucking feet at level 10 just with a bonus action for up to 10 minutes. Whew. Moreover, which is the more important feature here, at the start of each of your turns while in a Starry Form, you can change between Archer, Chalice, and Dragon. No limits. So your party members down here, here's a frickin' 8d8 cure wounds for frickin' a 4th level or something. I did the maths wrong there, but the point stands. And then it's like, oh, now I'm in the middle of the fray, let's just switch over to Archer and and now I'm amazing. Oh, now I've casted a 5th level concentration spell. I'm a dragon, bitch. Etc, etc. I love it. I love it so much. And finally, this is a single sentence ability full of stars, 14th level. When you're in your Starry Form, you get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Even magical. Woohoo! That's good. Resistances to damage, especially those 3 types, which are the most common damage types in the game, is good. At level 14, you're going to be seeing that damage type a little less, but still. Being in a Starry Form and having resistance to the things that barbarians get resistance to. You're suddenly a better tank than the frickin' fighter and paladin and ranger now. Good job. So I think this subclass is very cool. In terms of how I flavored more of the spells specifically, I've done stuff like So Fairy Fire was, I took the discs and they floated in like a line, and I pulled them back like this, and I'm like, pachoo, and a big old purple arrow came out, and that was my Fairy Fire. So that's pretty cool. That's the only spell with a spell slot I've casted in the campaign so far. But yeah, I think that it's been really cool playing Angel, and I can't wait to play more. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to... What do you have to do again? I don't know, something about a like button and a subscribe, and maybe join our Discord in the description and subscribe, and... I said subscribe twice. Comment as well. I like to keep the discussion going, so talk to me, and we will talk about how epic druids are and how powerful they are. Yeah. See you guys. In any case, welcome to Saucy Subclasses, where I rant about subclass and don't offer too much helpful information, but it's kind of funny because I'm an idiot. I can't think of a subclass video that I've actually done that I've made about a class that I've played, a subclass that I've played even. I haven't. What am I on?